Hey there, welcome back. Now I'm doing the drive south. If you caught my video, a drive north, or the drive north, whatever I titled it, the word north in it, we're doing the exact opposite. We're coming into Fort St. John from the west, so behind me would be Charlie Lake, and up towards me is City Center. We're traveling on the historic Alaska Highway, built in 1942 from Dawson Creek to Fairbanks. It's been a while, my history's a little rusty. Nevertheless, according to the onboard computer, I have 138 kilometers of gas left at a quarter tank. I have 1,174 kilometers to go, which will take about 14 hours and 8 minutes, according to the onboard navigation. So, yeah, but of course it's got me calculated going the totally wrong way. It wants me to go through Hudson's Hope, and I don't think that's a good idea. The plan is to go through Fort St. John, Taylor, take a thing called the Braden Road, go through Chetwynd, Pine Pass, Prince George, and eventually home in Kelowna. But we're going to stop off here at Petro-Canada, which is my staple gas station. I'm not plugging them by any means, but this is just, you know, where I go. And we will be fueling up here because 136 kilometers now to get to Chetwynd. I don't want to take the chance. So we go rolling into here. Yeah, nice and smooth like butter. And there we are. Quick little trip. We'll fuel up and continue on our merry little way down the road. Hope you come back after this little fade out. And there we go, already at 648 kilometers based on the trip computer. I put in a grand total of, bear with me, this is all going to be a metric, $38.99, which gave me 43 and a quarter liters. But we want to reset a few things here, so we want the tripometer. We want to reset you, so we go OK to reset. There. Since I've got this car, I've got 1,801 kilometers exactly, with an average speed of 71 kilometers an hour. Wow. I think I got 30 hours on the clock already, so that's actually kind of neat and informative. So we'll go back to my range. I don't have an average as of yet because we're still we're leaving now, so right now it's overcast. There's been a little bit of a sprinkling here and there, very like the odd drop or two on the windshield. Tires are full at 34 psi all the way around based on the computer. My pre-trip inspection showed there was no damage. I'll cover that one later. The car survived my 15-day ordeal up north here. Nobody coming. That's an odd place to put a stop sign, but I guess stop makes a little bit more safety sense than a yield sign because people definitely like to take advantage of those. So off to my left is Chances, and if I were to stay on that road going that way, it would take me more up through more of town. Right on the highway here, there isn't much to see. There's a few little industrial buildings, some hotels and stuff like that, but pretty much it's just a straight through. Fort St. John, most of the town residents and businesses are on this side of the highway when you're coming west, or that side of the highway if you're coming in from the east. On the east side going from the west is mostly industrial parks and stuff like that, services, a few fast food joints, a couple of service stations. I think Fort St. John is around 17,000 permanent residents. There's a transient community that comes in and out. Sight see dams here, so but most of those workers stay in the camp there. But there's probably a few, you know, administrative office types and stuff like that that do stay in town here. The oil patch when LP Slowcan was still running, which is an OSB plant, particle board, on the east side of town. When they were up and running, they must have employed, I would assume, probably 500 to 1,200 people maybe. That's been shut down for a while now. So there's a few folks on hard times if they haven't found another job. However, they could be receiving both provincial or federal financial assistance too, but oh, there's a kit car. I think that's that Mercedes 500K. I've seen that thing running around for a couple of years, even before I moved, so that has been around a while. Either that or it's pretty near identical. And there's a Civic Del Sol. Actually fairly tastefully done. Yeah, I can hear it. Just a mild fart can. And you can see, I don't know, probably from this angle if I move, there's a Hummer H2. There are a few little goodies up north here. The old lane assist on the light. Little light that shows up in my mirrors if somebody gets too close. I don't have the audio turned on, thank God. That'd probably drive me nuts. So now that we're heading east out of Fort St. John, it's recalculated as 1,194 kilometers, 14 hours 5 minutes, and I have 647 kilometers worth of gas based on my current in-town driving. So once I get on the highway, that number should greatly improve. Taylor 14, Dawson Creek 73. Well, we're not going to Dawson Creek, so we can just take that completely off the list. But we will be leaving this running, and I use the word we in the imperial sense, as we leave Fort St. John here. The highway is in really, really good shape. You can definitely tell there's been some improvements here and there, some resurfacing, obviously some replacement, because frost heaves, washouts, but not necessarily in this part. A few little bumps. I must say I am rather impressed with these Cooper Zeon tires, Z-E-O-N. I thought not much because I don't know much about Cooper tires. I've seen advertisements here and there in the Odd Car magazine. I think there might be a few billboards back home that I've seen Cooper tires. But I've never actually had a vehicle equipped with them except for, what did I don't think I had a full set. I've had Cumhos. No, I don't think I've had Coopers. I've used a Cooper baseball glove. That counts. So as we leave Fort St. John, this is where all the major industrial activity is. We have some mini storage here, which is just a bunch of sea cans. Off to the left here, we have some oil field, instrumentation, and trucking. This is actually a pretty boring little strip of road that we're coming up onto right now. Here we got our local UFA card block. Really itty bitty convenience store. I think they got like 4 bags of chips, 2 cans of pop, and a cashier. But that's okay. As long as you're still working. Well, there's a trucking outfit. Really can't tell who they are because I can't read their Oculus. I have no idea. Ryerson Trucking or Contracting. My mistake. A couple of backhoes and some Caterpillars, so they definitely are in the earthworks department. Really nice divided highway. I remember when this first came in, this used to be just a 2-lane blacktop, and this 4-lane divided. They had a real idea that the Alaska Highway between Prince George, between Fort St. John and the Alberta border was going to be this major transit conduit of heavy loads and industrial oil field activity. Unfortunately, that dream is dead right now, and who knows if it'll actually recover. I mean, after the financial crisis of 2008, 2009, this area was really hard hit because it was so petroleum industry dependent on jobs and economic growth. And the agriculture industry here just cannot do enough to sustain that void. They do try, but... So there we are. We're pretty much on the outskirts of Fort St. John. And for a Thursday morning, that says 8:22 because for whatever reason the computer decided to bump it ahead an hour when this is both the same time zone. So obviously it's not programmed to understand that this little sliver of British Columbia never changes its time. To the west of here, changes its time for Pacific Daylight. To the east of here, a big chunk of Alberta changes to mountain. But this little sliver, no. I don't know how they did it, but they've always done it. They never touched their clocks. So just some rural housing out here. Ooh, Mercury Capri. Don't see any of those running around anymore. That was the Fox body twin of the Mustang from about 1979 through 86. Because in 87 the Mustang got a restyle for that new Aero look. And the Capri kind of just vanished away. The way you can tell the difference between the Capri and the Mustang is the Capri always had the 4 square headlights in the front, never got a new style like the plastic with the bulb you can put in, and in later years it had the recessed taillights and a really bulbous glass hatchback. It's kind of interesting. Other than that, they were just badge engineered. So as we round this curve up ahead, you'll find it on the map as Baldonnel. It's not an incorporated community, but it's on the map as Baldonnel. It's on my navigation as Baldonnel. And I heard this, must have been about 15 or so years ago. You know, I lived down the road in Dawson Creek for almost 30 years. And it wasn't until shortly before we moved to Southern Okanagan where I actually heard the term Baldonnel come up. I saw the sign, but to actually hear somebody call it that, I was like, ooh, I was kind of impressed. Like, wow, okay, never knew that. Yeah, there is a surprising amount of traffic out this morning. Obviously, with this COVID-19 situation still going on, kids are not back in school as of yet. And this is the first exact week in May. This is May the 7th, 2020 as of right now. So kids are still doing their online learning over here through Zoom and other, I guess, conferencing platforms. I'm not exactly sure what the term is for, but they, you know, log in, a little video and audio conferencing back and forth. Teachers give lessons. I actually want to see how that's done. I'm kind of curious. Hey there, welcome back. After some technical error, I was going to show you the little town of Taylor. Well, that didn't happen, but you get to see this little stretch right here. Right now I'm passing the Taylor gas plant. It used to be Acco Gas. I think they might still be, I'm not sure, can't see from here. But I wanted to show you this wonderful little piece of local structure called the Taylor Bridge. It's a steel grate wonder. Get ready for it. In 3, 2, 1. Can you hear that rattly goodness? This bridge needs desperately to be replaced. It is so wavery. I'm trying to keep this straight, and because of the twists and the turns of the metal, and as you can see by these sections, these are sections that have been cut out and welded back in. Like, they're constantly working on this thing. And the reason why they have to use the steel grate is because the snow buildup would just be too much and this bridge would collapse under that kind of a weight. Now we are going to go up a real twisty, frost-heavy, highly unstable chunk of road called the Taylor Hill. We're heading south towards Dawson Creek and Chetwynd. Yeah, this hill can be really, really fun. So we got 2 lanes for now. We'll take the left lane. 53 kilometers to Dawson Creek, 454 to Prince George. According to the onboard computer, 1175 to get to my home, and 13 hours and some minutes. Almost 14 hours. Slower traffic, keep right. I'm writing right now. So right now the road's not too terribly bad. A lot of truck activity. In the wintertime, they have to chain up. They just cannot make this grade up or down with bare bald tires. And I don't mean bald as in no tread, but so far the road's not too bad. We got a few frost heave lines here and there and a couple of dips. Looks like the right lane's about to end. There's nobody behind me. That's good. Still, I signal. It's my thing. It's what I do. This is the good part. Now we're starting into the not so good part. And then a little curve to the left. And as you can tell, slow, no shoulder. And I never do find these 3 pyramids anywhere. There's signs for them, but I don't think the Egyptians made it this far. Slow, here we go. That wasn't so bad. Looked worse than this. There we go. Up. Frost heave marks. This road is constantly being worked on, constantly fixed, constantly improved. Keep right. Okay. Just a little bumpy. You can definitely tell I'm only doing 80k right now, but every time the tires hit a really good bump, you can feel the slight shift of the G-forces. The tires breaking contact. You're kind of like, well, not that bad. You get the idea. It's like not a comfortable feeling. Slow moving trucks that just are pouring all their power to stay moving. We'll have the 4-way flashers on. And we'll just go around him. Because there's a brake check up ahead. Yeah. Next time I turn this on, we'll be going down another hill in the Peace Country. Come back for that one. As we descend down Wabi Hill, we'll be entering the town formerly known as Lone Prairie, now known as Chetwynd, BC. Now this hill is pretty awesome at certain times of the year. There's this ice fog and just general ground precipitation that will stick to it. Today we're good. I already drove through a whack load of rain between the other side of Taylor and just literally coming into a place called East Pine. And now it's just overcast. The roads are clear and dry as we descend into Chetwynd. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, but that's pretty much the main crux of the town there. Now, like a lot of northern BC towns, the highway doesn't go through the middle of town, but the town's now sprung up on either side of it. In southern BC, a lot of the towns are built up around the highway, so that's the main drag. This is just, you know, cuts through, and if you want to actually get into Chetwynd, you gotta go left or right. There are a few businesses that line the highway, but yeah, a little small northern BC town. I think the population's hovering around 35 to 4,500. The main industry here for the longest time was the Canfor Mill, and I'm not sure if it's shut down or restarted in limited capacity because of the economic recession that we're currently going through. I do know that at one point they were making wood for the North American market, then they retooled for the Chinese market, and then shut down, layoffs. Now I don't know if that's actually restarted again or not, but there's a few other little like mills around, some service industry. You go this way, you go down to Tumbler Ridge, which was really big for mining. Quintet coal was the big thing during the 1980s there. And then there's Bull Moose, and I don't know what other operations they have on the go right now. And there we are. Welcome to Chetwynd, Northern Oasis Truck RV and Car Wash. And of course we've got a quick lube and a touchless car wash there. A Days Inn. Now I'm always confused. Is it Rodeo Sub or Rodeo Sub? I'm going to have to ask my wife because she grew up in this town what the proper pronunciation of that is. And of course, no town is complete without a church without windows. That's right. The Kingdom Hall of Jehovah Witnesses. This town was really put on the map with the chainsaw carvings. And once a year they have a little competition where participants have a chainsaw and they're given pretty much a big stump. And some of the stuff they come up with is breathtaking, just unreal. And there's the local Legion. I wonder how they're faring in this COVID crisis. I know Legions have been hurting for a number of years, but now with social distancing, reduced social capacities of places, all the protective measures, and the fact that they're mostly frequented by elderly folks. I don't know. Over here we got the Chetwynd District Rec Center. I've gone swimming there a few times. They got a really cool wave pool. It's definitely worth checking out. And there we got the public library and the local high school. Some frontage road businesses like All West Glass. Nice residential areas there. The one thing I always like about Chetwynd is it's a clean little town. Like, it's not overly, you know, dirty or dusty or that. It's like when the rain comes, the seasons change, this place really greens up and looks nice. There's a sushi restaurant. Used to be a KFC. Loved going there. I got a Chevron and a Tim Hortons. Lakeview Inn and Suites. I'm not sure exactly who they're attached to, but it's a fairly recent construction, like within the last 20 or so years. Right next to Grumpy's. A lot of businesses that are for sale. There's a Cal Tire. A couple of train tracks just to make sure the suspension's working. Ah, a mighty street sweeper. Stirring up dirt and dust everywhere they go. But that's good. That's what they're designed to do. And of course, I'm getting a bit of a dry mouth, so we will be making a stop. You'll never guess. No, you will never guess. Don't bother looking out the windows. Just close your eyes. You'll never guess where I'm going. Yeah. So we'll pop in here. We'll get some traveling beverages. And then we'll hit the road and continue on our way. Because like all these places have bumpy parking lots. Through Chetwynd and down the rest of the John Hart Highway towards Prince George. So come back after the fade out. So there we are. I am back and I've got my addictions. This cold coffee, be it Starbucks or the 7-Eleven brand, pretty good stuff. I've grown addicted to it. More so, I bought 2. And of course, if there's a 7-Eleven, there's taquitos. Mexican food on the go. So, Let's see what's going on here. System check, everything's good. There are no new... Oh, I left my lights on. I turned them on at a brake check a little while ago, and yeah, whoops. Now what are you holy blaring about? Turn some of this stuff up and down. There we go. I have 467 kilometers of gas left. And I guess since I'm not in motion, 1,025 kilometers, 11 hours, 45 minutes to go from here. And of course, hey, that stayed relatively clean throughout the rain. Nice. Now, let's see if we can get out of here. The big city of Chetwynd. And as I was saying before the fade out, this place was known as Lone Prairie. And I think it got renamed. I think Chetwynd was a minister of some kind for the province. So, like a lot of places around this province, you know, people get named after stuff like W.A.C. Bennett Dam, Chetwynd. I don't know what he did. That was, you know, enough to change the town's name for it. So, ahead, I think this is Highway 29. This takes us out to Moberly Lake, Hudson's Hope, and to the west side of Fort St. John. So you can actually bypass a lot of... Holy, that's just taking the whole label right off. There we go. And it's a green light. Hopefully we can just... Yeah, we're just going to go. And there's a Fresh Mart that used to be, I think, Super Value. And of course there's an IGA, Lakeview Credit Union. We're coming through the main drag right now. Most of the town is situated right here. The main business area. Windrum Creek. No. Got an A&W and a Subway. A little, I wouldn't really call it a strip mall, more like a plaza. Red Apple, which took over for, what did they take over for? There was a whole string of stores that's escaping. Dragon Palace, really good Chinese food there. And then right out the window right now, sort of a dead caterpillar green look building is the local cop shop, or the detachment of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police for you proper speaking folk. And now we're coming on to the outskirts of town. It's a two-lane blacktop, pretty much between here and Prince George, a couple of bridges. You'll have the Pine Pass, the summit there, with Powder King Ski Resort, which is obviously closed. Road looks like it's in really good shape. The overcast isn't solid. There's little fluffs here and there. Like you can definitely make out the clouds, but the gray is the most predominant color in the sky right now. Not even a wisp of blue anywhere. COVID-19, avoid non-essential travel. Well, I want to go home and I don't want to be on a plane. So this is definitely essential travel. Thank you. Have a safe trip. I do believe I shall. And we're stuck behind a Ford Escape, which is definitely taking an early Sunday drive on this Thursday. Well, at least they're signaling in advance. I do give them that. Wow. Like, really? I don't think the risk of rollover is that... Oh yeah, turbo. Just feel that pull. And as we leave, I think the municipal district of Chetwynd, at least the fire area, mostly mobile homes. There's a few fixed permanent homes. Lots of gravel roads on either side of the highway. And here we go. Our markers are Mackenzie 177, Prince George is 311. I have 462 in gas. We are on the John Hart Highway headed south, 1,021 kilometers, or 11 hours and 41 minutes to go, but that varies depending on speed. Eventually these rolling hills will give way to the Rocky Mountains as we come up to Mount Lemoore, through the Pine Pass, and out the other side. Now we really can't go to Mackenzie per se because the highway stays straight and there's a Mackenzie turnoff you have to take. And that is quite the detour I don't want to do. Technically we're still in Chetwynd. Off to the side here we got some more fixed houses, a few mobile homes. And then just a little ways down the road we'll be coming up to Hasler Flats, better known as Hasler around here. And that will be the end of civilization for actually a few hours. Because nobody really lives in the Pine Pass. Well, there's a few folks here and there, but not heavily populated. And nothing that even looks close to being a town. There's a truck shop out here. I used to know what this place was called. No, it's not Aspen Place. Wild Bear, Red Bear. I couldn't read the sign. Robert's Towing and Recovery RV Park. Wild Bear Road, okay. And as we cross a little bridge on Wild Bear Creek, makes sense. Hey, there's actually water flowing. More like a stream than a creek right now. Oh, there's a field of dreams. Oh, whack load of older stuff. We're talking about pre-80. 1980 vehicles there. I saw a few old Internationals, some really old Dodges. We're talking late 50s, early 60s. I can tell by the quad headlights. My wife would kill me if I came home with one of those wrecks. Actually, I think the landlord would really frown every time she drove by too, so. I still have this inkling to do a project. But unfortunately, every vehicle I ever get, my ambition is so high, but the budget and the motivation to do it is so low. Ergo, why I'm going after newer vehicles that actually have a warranty, are functioning, and for the most part, equipped with all the stuff they live with from the factory, including bumper covers and, you know, engine components and stuff. And we're coming up to construction of some kind. So we're slowing down to 70. We're way slowing down to 70. We're kind of going over there. Prepare to stop. I am so prepared right now. I can't even begin to tell you. Tap of red. So I'm assuming we'll probably be going here. Is that a Sonata? I think that's a Hyundai Sonata. Watch for man holding giant lollipop. You, sir, or madam, are not holding a lollipop. So happy, cheerful to be standing on the side of the road with your sign. Bissett Creek is the name of this place. I am not exactly sure what they are doing, but I think they're doing it well, whatever it is. And another person who looks so happy to be doing their job. It's not very often you see a traffic control person actually, you know, enjoying the work, you know, smiling and waving, you know, really giving off that positive attitude. So we are leaving the Chetwynd Fire Protection District, and there's a few rumble strips on the side of the road just to let me know I crossed the white line, if it was a little bit more visible to be seen. And don't take this spot as the back, yeah. I do miss the countryside this time of year when it goes from brown to green. And a little bit of rain when it falls, the ground just soaks it up, and then all of a sudden, the splendor of nature before your very eyes as the green unfolds and the brown dies. Trademark. Copyright. little bumpy here. A little shifting. Frost heaves. What happens is the ground, when it freezes and it thaws, obviously the top of it will change. Elevation variations between, you know, the same square meter will happen. And of course, when you throw pavement over top, the same thing happens there. And despite the elasticity of the mixture that makes our modern roads, it's not totally flexible. The temperatures can beat it. Ergo, you get frost heaves, little dippity-doos, and so forth. Carn Creek RV Park up ahead. But it is very wondrous countryside if you can get up here and have a look at it, especially this time of year. This is beginning of May. And you can go anywhere from, say, late April to about mid-May. You get the spring showers come in. It just rejuvenates the landscape. Pine trees look that much greener. The aspen or poplar, you know, their leaves are just starting to unfurl. Like right now, they drop those little buds that stick to cars and cause the sticking huds. It smells kind of like, if you can imagine what stale Vicks Vapor Rub would be like, they've mastered that smell. So there's that, and they leave like this stickiness on cars, and that real pain to get off. It can be done with the right cleaning solution and water, but you know. It looks like we're going to be following this big boy for a little while. And I don't mind the overcast. A, it's easy on the eyes. You know, clear blue sky, direct sunlight, my eyes just ache. Just ache. And despite both my boy and my wife saying, you should wear sunglasses, I want to have my eyes see the natural world unfiltered as much as possible. So, maybe I am doing myself more harm than good. But then again, I don't want to miss out what the world really looks like until I absolutely have to. Stone Creek. I guess it was. And once again, a little bit of frost heaving. We got some wild patchwork. Hi there. That was cool. That looked like it was a dust shield off of a truck. It might have been even that truck. I fall to pieces before your very eyes. Oh. That could have been really not so good. I'm not in a big hurry to wreck another car on a road. It's been a couple of years since my Dart came to a wounded predicament thanks to a giant rock, and my poor slow reflexes or poor choice. And I rather like this Kia Sportage, and I want to get a number of years yet out of it, so. Train tracks to the left. Looks like a cut line or a bit of a pasture clearing. To the right. Keep an eye on this guy in case he starts throwing more parts off. Hasler's not this far out, is it? What do you say? You say, in memory of, well, okay, that didn't really help me much. It's funny how the road changes with the patches. Just fix what's needed, I guess. There's snow in them dour hills. And if you get into the right spot in this area, the snow never leaves. It's always there, year round. But that's very high elevations. You can still see it from down here on the highway. Makes for an interesting, pretty trip. of trees down on the side of the road, especially on this side. You can tell by the fact that they got smooth bottoms that they were cut down, and so they're not blown down or just snags that decide to fall over a period of time. No trespassing. Commotion Creek. Definitely dirty here. You can tell that there's been a lot of off-road activity, so there would probably be some forest lease roads on either side here. You can see how the rain hasn't totally dried off here. The road actually has that kind of a tannish, earthen look to it. So the logging trucks that are coming off these side roads, and when they get on here, they actually put mud and dirt down for quite a distance. Of course, you get dozens to hundreds of those throughout the day. They'll dry this little strip. Off to the side here. It's funny how the grass is kind of picking and choosing. You shall be green, you must remain brown. You, and you, and yeah, you can become green. You, yeah, brown. It's like a committee meeting. Can I change, sir? No, not yet. Okay. Okay, that was like a wine-colored sweater, like red wine sweater? Huh. I don't know. Maybe somebody was too cheap to get a red flag for their lumber. Honey, give me your sweater. You know, we got a flag balloon. Oh, that'll be so cold. Just give me it. Could be. What do you say? RD11. Cryptic.